Hey everyone, we're back. And in this video, we're going to take a look at some advanced features, starting with using embedding, embed links, and hyperlinking. So we had talked about briefly the resource page that should be included on a website. And the reason is you are not the expert on the Revolutionary War. You weren't there, you didn't talk to anybody who was, and you're getting all of your information from outside sources. So only appropriately, we should be crediting those outside sources. And I've been using a source here off to the side. I've been using this page on the Revolutionary War. So this link is going to be very important for me to help cite my sources. So depending on your teacher's preference of how to or what style to use citations, you would probably want to include a few things, right? You want to include the website host. In this case, I would say it's the history.com. You might want to include an author if it says at the top, or you might include the author listed at the very bottom of the article. So you'd want to look around and see. And you'd also want to include this website address. So if I copy it and I come over here to my resource page, I can paste in that link. Now, there's a couple ways links can be pasted. One of them is just a paste, and if you hit space or enter, it will automatically generate that hyperlink. The other thing that people do sometimes to make hyperlinks look nicer is they cover up the link with the text. So for example, if I hover over history.com and I use this option right here, which is insert link, it allows me to paste the hyperlink and apply it. And now this link actually shows history.com, but it actually links to that bigger page. So you might want to use hyperlinks throughout your website. Okay, I'm going to head back to the home page for our next topic, and that is embedding elements. So we've already talked about inserting text boxes and images and Drive, but this is another big one that we haven't talked much about. And I actually want to do it by going over here in any space and double clicking with my mouse. And you'll notice a double click brings up this quick menu of inserting images, text boxes, from Drive. It also gives you the option to upload, and here is what's called embed. And I've used embed a couple different times to describe showing something from the lens of your web page. In other words, through your website. So you could also paste in links, and like this one, what pops up is when I paste in an embedded link, this one gives me one option. It's the preview option. And when you insert it, it actually inserts it as a picture, has a little bit of a title, a little bit of a description, and you'll see this on a lot of websites. So that's one way to include somebody else's content in your page, is to have an embedded content. Now, there are other web pages that allow you to do what's called a dynamic embed, and that means you're actually looking at that website within your own. You can scroll up and down on it, you can click on links. You probably won't be embedding too much, but it's nice to know that that option and feature is there. Okay, the other few things that we haven't quite touched on down here in this insert menu is there are ways that you can add collapsible text boxes. This just means if I add one of those, when I type in a title here and I add in content underneath it, what happens is on the website, you'll actually see it listed like a drop down. So it's called collapsible text, and it does just that. It allows you to kind of hide a lot of information within your website where it's very easy to access. Okay. Next one we want to take a quick look at is what's called an image carousel. And an image carousel, if you think about a carousel at a amusement park, goes around and around. And an image carousel is going to do the same thing. It's going to show you a picture, and then the next picture is going to come in, and then the next picture is going to come in, and it's going to keep rotating these new pictures. So if I were to insert some pictures from, let me do the select image, and I'll do that great revolutionary search. Let me say I'm going to choose that one. And let me choose that one. Okay, and when I click insert, so now what happens in this image carousel is it's a great way to look at your site and embedded elements in there, but notice how it's actually going to let you switch pictures within the same pane. Okay, there are a few options in an image carousel that you can modify. You can modify these things up here in the settings. You can show dots or not show dots. You can include captions. You can have it auto start, and then you can choose the transition speed. Okay, so those are some neat features for your website. Other things, just to finish this off, I like dividers. These are lines that go across your site, and what they do is they allow you to separate. Another thing that allows you to separate is the background of your content. So notice on the left, I have this little paint icon, and it allows me to change the background. And these three color choices are all based on your theme. So when you chose your theme back at the beginning, remember, if you were to change it, it changes throughout your entire site. Okay, it's good to pick a theme early so that way as you design, you don't have all these mass changes later on. But let's just say I'm going to go with that one. So notice how my background theme, I've got different selections here. Those are good ways to organize your content. Finally, the last thing I wanted to talk to you about on this video is we've identified what's called a header. Now the header is at the top of every page. If I switch pages, notice it does switch the title, but at the top, these things do not change. They're the same on every page. I want you to pay attention to something at the bottom, which is called a footer. Okay, footer is like your header, it just appears at the bottom. But a footer appears like a header on every page. So if I add a footer, I want to make sure that the content I put within this box is something I want to be seen on every single page. You know, maybe you could put down that this is your 7th grade history project, and you can put the date, or maybe you put your name down there. But just so you know, that footer down there appears on every one of your pages. All right, I will see you one last time for a video on how to publish and share your page.